Great. Okay. So the last part I'd just like to talk to you about, one thing I've been talking to everyone about these videos is the experience of training and limitation. We've been talking about limitation and constraints and the unexpected kind of barriers and challenges that we have to negotiate as part of our onward journeys. And, you know, I've been talking to people in these videos about how to either yourself support others who are trying to develop their practice in the context of limitation. It could be an injury, it could be a health condition such as post-COVID difficulties on COVID, it could be some other condition. What's been your experience of training with some kind of limitation or hurdle in a way that you hadn't anticipated?
Yeah, so yeah, for me, the yin yang is quite instructive here because, you know, my kind of normal default way of being is that if I have pain, that I try and ignore it and suppress it as something that's not valuable. As you know, I want to get better at Tai Chi, so I'm going to keep on training and just try and ignore the pain. But if we look at the yin yang, it shows us that, you know, black and white, these kind of opposites, yin and yang, night and dark, so night and day, right and wrong, these opposites, they are co-independent. They need each other. You can't have light without dark. And so in the same way that, you know, we can't just have a purely positive life, the darkness, the pain is an inextricable part of what it means to be human. And so therefore serves a function. And so, for example, you know, with my anxiety, it's kind of a message from the body that something's not right. And so, yeah, maybe my thinking is making erroneous connections that don't actually reflect reality. So in which case that anxiety is telling me to like investigate my ways of thinking. But sometimes, you know, that anxiety is saying, you know, there's a threat here that you need to think about this. And so that was the same for me. So with my body, my Tai Chi training, I had knee injuries, I had foot injuries. I actually had 7 on the mountain. You know, I'd got halfway across the world and had this special opportunity to train, and, you know, my body basically packed in. And so, yeah, I think there were moments where I felt sorry for myself that, you know, I couldn't train as I wanted to. But it kind of triggered a deepening of my practice because I finally had to grapple with the pain, and instead of trying to suppress it and train through it, I had to really start listening to it and asking, what is my body telling me right now? What is this feedback? And so, you know, if we remember the yin yang, remember that pain has its function, we can see, okay, what can this teach me right now? What can the pain teach me? And so, you know, it's about starting where we're from. And so if people have long COVID, you know, like accepting that's where you are right now, and you know, it's maybe not where you want to be, but you know, that is what the Tao has served you in that given moment. And so then exploring, okay, how can I grow from this, or what can I learn from this? And so for me with my body, kind of specifically, it is not having enough strength. And so, you know, Tai Chi is a martial art. It's slowed down for health purposes. And, you know, you should do the kind of range of movement that is comfortable for your body so that you're not working in pain. But I imagine many of your students will find that they do have some injuries. For example, you know, one of the injuries of civilization is that because everything's flat, our knees never do this. And so suddenly when we're doing Tai Chi and our knees are kind of going across, that can create a lot of strain that they're not used to. And interestingly, Uncle Wong, who was the cook for the Tai Chi school, he, 55, ran around on the mountain for his whole life. He was born there and grew up there. He could, you know, he would be going on walks with me and I would be walking with 2 sticks and my knees would be killing me, and he would be just hopping around at the age of 60. And so, yeah, it's about, if you don't use it, you lose it, basically. And a mantra that I've found very helpful is you don't have energy, you do things that give you energy. You don't have energy, you do things that give you energy. And so, you know, this Tai Chi practice, as we know, and as you'll explore with your students, is something that can generate energy for you. But similarly, you know, if you don't use your knees and then suddenly you go straight into your Tai Chi training, then you're going to create injuries. But that's not to say that your body is incompatible with Tai Chi, which is the story that I told myself. I said, I just get injured too much. And so, my body is not designed for Tai Chi. And so for me, it's been basically strengthening. So doing squats and squats with weight, actually, kettlebell, which has been strengthening up my quads and my hamstrings and my glutes, which then has allowed me to actually enjoy my practice without injury and with less resistance. So I'd say, yeah, the overall learning for that for me is, yeah, what is the pain teaching you, and accepting where you are and then seeing how you can move from it.
That's great. Thank you. That really useful perspective. I think people watching this will find this really useful, and I think a source of comfort to think about negotiating limitations or unexpected constraints in this way. So we're just before we kind of wind up, just thinking about, you know, the future next steps for you. You've launched a feature film, Journey to the East, and that's free on your YouTube channel, and I've already shared it on Daoshu's channel. But if anyone's not seen it, do watch it. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience and adventure for the viewer to follow your journey, your second journey to Wudang. What else is happening for you over the next few months?
Yes, yeah. So there's the film, which has been the biggest project I worked on, and really glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'd say for people who want to kind of see more about what I'm doing, that's the best place to start, because it's kind of an introduction to Taoism, but kind of told through my story, and it's a good adventure that hopefully people will enjoy. So have it on your TV, get your popcorn out, and make an event out of it. And then we also have, I've brought kind of Master Gu's teaching onto the internet through the online Wudang Taoist Wellness Academy. If people are interested in that, they can learn with kind of a community from all around the world. And I've kind of, through my filmmaking, tried to capture the healing magic of the mountain. And then, yeah, in terms of me, what's coming next, basically more teaching. Kind of been in filmmaking mode, which has been a lot on my laptop, but I'm quite keen now to be doing kind of physical classes. So actually on Sunday in Lee Woods in Bristol, I'm doing my first kind of philosophical Qigong class. And then I'm going to be doing live streams on my YouTube channel. So just kind of doing weekly Tao explorations with some movement. So yeah, that's the next exciting chapter. And then beyond that is beginning to kind of branch out and look at other wisdom traditions. So potentially going to a Christian monastery in Scotland, where I may kind of explore Christian mysticism. Still just an idea. But yeah, kind of in this journey back to balance collectively, you know, Taoism is one beautiful language to understand ourselves and life, which has really resonated with me, but it's not the only one. And so I think that's kind of the next part of the chapter of the journey, is to start seeing the kind of the similar ideas that popped up in different areas of the world.
Wow, can't wait to see all of that. Thank you, George. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Giles.